Hey, cousins. Listen, when I'm on a roll, I gotta do it. I gotta do it because I wouldn't say I have like ADHD because I don't, but I do get distracted easily and then I forget what I was supposed to fucking do. So I gotta get it out now. And I hope you are all enjoying what I got going on. And I'm loving the gossip, child, because I just got all deep into this whole bad baby domestic abuse shit. Child, listen. Anyway, what we talking about today is women's wrestling, because this is a women's wrestling centered podcast, believe it or not. Um, but I'm gonna say something and it's gonna be contradictory to what I promote, but I feel like I have to say this and have a come hither moment. And it's a conversation that we should just go ahead and sit down and have a roundtable with. WWE and the Women's Evolution pay per view, or what we think is going to be one, hasn't been announced. I honestly feel like there shouldn't be one. Oh my God. I feel like there shouldn't be one because it has been very, what's the word? It's been hammered down. It's been made super clear that women's wrestling in WWE, I'm focusing on this right now. So don't tell me about no other promotion and where I could go and watch it. I'm focusing on this right now. Women's wrestling in WWE on the main roster. Don't tell me about NXT or Evolve or anything like that, because the women wrestling over there is fantastic for some reason. On the main roster, I feel like it needs to be dialed back and taken back to the Divas era. I said it. Take it back to the Divas era. And you probably like, girl, what? But with a twist. You can keep the women's main title, call it the Women's World Championship, have one, and have a number two. Just like the men, the women's, whatever you want to call it, cruiserweight, whatever. So you have your main and you have your two. And the women should float through both shows with one title. That could also be the males, situation too. Because there's no reason to have a SmackDown and a Raw title. I feel like when someone is given a title, because they're not earned, they're given. When someone's given that prestigious title to become the face of the company, they should be able to wrestle all over the company. Okay? You're putting on all this pressure on them to do this, and they're giving their life up and all this for this fucking thing we love called wrestling, then it should be the business model. It should be one title for one winner and everybody wants it, okay? Or two. So you got, for example, you got the heavyweight championship and the US title on SmackDown, and you got the heavyweight title and then the undercard title, the Intercontinental on Raw. And then for the ladies, you can have the women's heavyweight championship, the main title, and then just put an Intercontinental title for the women and leave it at that. Because what I'm understanding right now, what I'm seeing, how I'm feeling, the titles that are given to the women specifically are more like, here, fuck you, shut the fuck up. That's what y'all want to hear go. I don't give a fuck what happens to them titles, how they're being handled. Y'all wanted these intercontinental bullshit and this US title and all this other shit. Here you go, fuck it. You got your tag teams. Here you go, fuck it, whatever. We not even going to act like they exist. Right now, the tag teams are not even in rotation. They don't even wear the women tag teams titles no more. You can go ahead and lay those to rest. Okay? There's no need to be pairing people up. Or you could go ahead and put the NXT tag titles back in NXT. I still don't understand why they were removed. There's actual tag teams in NXT for women. Why I don't want the women's evolution? Because just like the first one, the whole reason why that women's evolution happened is because Saudi Arabia at that time would not allow women to do anything. And so the ladies were left at home. And Stephanie McMahon was like, well, let's just do a all, situation pay-per-view and get this money. And it gives some type of a sense of empowerment. And the women can feel good and don't feel like they're left out. Now, what has happened? I keep telling y'all that wrestling is a representation of society. So right now, society in the last 5 years has become very angry, very what's the word? Hateful, very misogynistic. Yep, here we go. Racism on the rise. Everybody is not being entertained or not having access to the entertainment so they can remove themselves from the ills of their life and the ills of society. And it is now being translated into the things that they love. Okay, people watch stuff so they don't have to see what happens in real life, but then you have politics coming into everyday fun activities. This is why you always have to have hobbies and backups. With all that being said, I sat and I heard a particular podcast. I'm not going to say no names. You know, it was a white dude. He was using all of those words that just have now become dog whistles and oh, it's woke and you know, just real nasty when it came to the women. This past Saturday, we had the Saturday night main event. There was no women's matches on that card, and it was obvious. Now, instead of just moving on and not putting anything on the card, we was going to deal with it regardless. They threw Zelina Vega and Chelsea Green on the card. And this is how I see Saturday night main events. It's an advertisement to put your biggest and your best forward so people who don't fuck with this could be like, oh, I want to see more. That match was absolutely horrific. Okay. That match was an awful display and representation of women's wrestling. And that match did not put women's wrestling in a good light. Okay? You have to, if you can't put your biggest and best and brightest on these shows to get people to want to see, then don't do it. It almost felt like, here, put this match on there so people can shut the fuck up. That's what it was like, and that's what it was shown. Zelina Vega. You could like her, but I'm gonna be honest. I enjoyed Zelina Vega when she was with Andrade Cien Almas, when she was the witch, or how you pronounce that in Spanish, La Nuca, I believe it is. When she had the raven hair, you understand? And she was basically a manager. That is where she shines. I enjoyed the storyline where she poisoned Montez Ford, but she was with Andrade. And, you know, that whole little situation. She wasn't by herself. Okay? I like the Zelina Vega who was going to do kind of like what Paul Heyman does. I'm going to get my person over however the fuck I got to get him over. Okay? This Zelina Vega right here is childish. It's confusing. It's disjointed. This is a grown, married woman. You understand? She can have all of the things she likes. Her personality, she likes playing video games. She's into that futuristic punk type shit, right? I get it. Tatted up. Her husband is deep in the demon realm or whatever the case may be. There is no way to put that woman in these positions believably. Yes, her size plays a role in why I can't take her seriously. The smiling, the grinning, the skinning. She's trying to, you know, be relatable. It's coming off fake. I feel like she's a natural heel. It's awful what's going on with that U.S. title. I don't even know why she has it. I do not know what she did, who hand she shook to get that title. Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, I'm not going to not run this woman down because she literally is the entertainment in WWE. That is her role. What you should have done was given her a more formidable opponent. But the problem is, you had Michin, another person who does not know her own character. This came out her mouth. Hasn't even stamped down a character since NXT. She's just doing shit and it's not natural. She should have been the one, if anybody, to get that U.S. championship. Okay? I don't know how she was skipped over. Everyone was prepared for Michin to get that title off of Chelsea Green. They had the trash can match. They had the hardcore match. How did Zelina Vega get that spot? Because don't nobody give a fuck about that title to make it make sense. Okay? You could have actually put Becky and Lyra Valkyria on that Saturday Night's Main Event for the title. And you could have ran that shit back regular. Their match, Lyra Valkyria, although I don't think that she got much of a personality, whatever, that bitch could wrestle. That bitch could wrestle. She could go. I ain't never taken that from her. She's like a small tank. And her and Becky Lynch do well in the ring because Becky is going to get her girl over. That is what you put on these type of shows to show people this is what we have to offer in terms of women wrestling. You make sure to big up the men every time. But when you go and you watch the WrestleManias and the other pay-per-views that matter, those women show up and show the fuck out. But who women are we talking about? Bianca, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky. Okay? Those three right there. Those three right there. And if I'm missing somebody, tell me in the comments. Those three right there are the pillars of the WWE Women's Division. Natalya, always going to be somebody that you could get and put on one of these shows. Because she always put her best foot forward. But since she got all that fucking work done, she like a cat. Don't nobody want to really look at her like that. Okay? You got Naomi doing some of the best character work right now. Naomi and fucking Jay Cargill could have been on that show. And don't got nothing to do with race for anybody that's like, oh, here she go. No. They have an actual storyline, which is a whole nother podcast what's going on with them. And they could have had a little one-off on there to push their storyline. And even have Nia Jax floating around the ring. Nia Jax, for all her shit, her presence is felt when she's not there. It's needed because you only have one big woman who's a heel and you won't get Piper Niven and get her out of that Hervey shit and let her be a number 2 big body. It's a way to book the women to get them where they need to get. Okay? And for anybody that's like, well, you think it's easy. Listen, creative writing ain't hard. Everybody took it in high school. I love creative writing. I love sitting here and changing scripts and all types of shit while I'm watching the shows. This is what I would do. I just gave y'all a creative idea for Lily and Alexa Bliss that is both entertaining and would keep eyes on the product and sell the merch. All of the things that they're focused on. We'll talk about that Lily doll coming up here soon. So, overall, I say no to Evolution 2. No. There's nobody to bring back that people are excited to see. There's nothing worth putting on TV if the storylines aren't fleshed out. There's plenty of women. Y'all say it's stacked. The women's division is stacked. It's the best it's ever been. I can't fucking tell. I can't tell. These women are working hard. They in the dungeon with Natalya. They over in the PC in the performance center. They're going over the hall. They doing all the things they need to do to get where they need to go. Some people think maybe the wrestlers aren't doing enough and they're complacent. But then again, I will agree with Vince Russo. These titles are not worked towards. They're not something you earn. They're given. What the fuck do the women have to do to get in a position where they're respected? In a place where you got people who are riled up because they can't get the pussy from the women. Got to be. Because this is an ongoing issue that's never been rectified. And it's been times where they tried. If you don't want to promote the women, bring the butterfly belt back and we could just mix it up like that. Do that. It's okay. The ladies are still going to get their money. I'm still going to focus on them. And we still going to have fun. But at least I will understand that this company does not give a fuck about women's wrestling whatsoever. So don't call up nobody NXT. Move them around through Evolve and NXT. Don't call nobody up to the main roster and have them looking like Julia threw her ass out there to look like a damn fool. Okay? Don't do that. I don't know why it's difficult to just let the women shine. It's not a competition. Evolution 2 will flop. It's gonna flop. Because no one takes women wrestling seriously. And no one cares to see it. And that was indicative what was displayed on Saturday Night Main Event. That was a slap in the face to women's wrestling. That was a slap in the face multiple times when you got some hard hitters, some tanks on your roster, and you put that bullshit on that damn show. And then you want to turn around and have an Evolution 2? Absolutely the fuck not. Don't do it. I am against it unless it's going to be some explosive shit and they really going to put in some effort on that. Don't do it. That's where I'm at. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments and I'll catch you on the next one.